I think we have to talk about it, no? £2 billion spent for that type of football. £2 billion spent between the two clubs, and none of them looked like they wanted to play to win. £2 billion spent, and one person literally packed the bus. £2 billion spent, and the greatest manager for some people all of a sudden went away from what we know him to do, which is attack, attack, attack. And he all of a sudden started behaving like as if he is Jose Mourinho, trying to pack the bus in order for him to win a 1-0 smash and grab. $2 billion for another manager to put 3 defensive midfielders in one midfield when he's playing against a team that are not firing on all cylinders. It is mind-blowing. Oh my God, go away. Jeez, £2 billion. And that is what we got as the match of the day. It is mind-blowing. Like, I still do not understand it. I still do not understand it. But the truth about it is that we have to talk about it. And without further ado, let's get into this part, because we are going to be talking about the key moments that happened, and we are going to be talking about the impact and the talking points that every single person is talking about. So we can all of a sudden break it down like we do here on Pillar Sports. So without further ado, let's get this party started. First things first, we need to start with the early strike from Haaland. City struck at the 19th through Erling Haaland after a rapid counter-attack originated by Tijani Reinders. Have I said how much I love that name? Tijani Reinders. What a goal. The goal set the tone and forced Arsenal into a reaction. City's low possession and defensive setup blew my mind. The City we know and we loved. When they score a first goal, it opens the floodgates. They are going for a second. When they get the second, they are going for a third. That is the City we know. But despite scoring early, City played a defensive setup for so much of that match. They ended up with 32.8% possession. Brothers and sisters, I haven't seen a Pep Guardiola team have less than 50 or less than 40. They had 32.8. That is mind-blowing, people. The lowest in a Pep Guardiola side in the Premier League. No, of course, started slow. And then they made adjustments, then gave them opportunities to come back into the game. Arsenal was sluggish initially, lacking clear ideas after City's goal. But at halftime, what he should have done in the first half absolutely opened up. What he should have done in the first half, it's like Mikel Arteta going into this game overestimated what Arsenal and how Manchester City were going to play them. It's like, who blinks first? The point is, who opens their eyes first? Because both teams were scared to play. Both teams were scared to play. But at halftime, Mikel Arteta realized that having 3 defensive-minded players was the wrong way to go about it. And then he made substitutions. And those substitutions brought about change. Emirates came in, shifted the entire momentum of Arsenal. Arsenal grew into the game, and in the second half, we saw what happened. And of course, it did not happen right away, but we saw chances upon chances. Bukayo Saka and Eze creating chances. One thing about Eze is that he can create a moment out of nothing by himself, by his lonesome. And that is what Arsenal needed at the start of the game. They needed somebody that would be able to unlock the defense. That is crazy. This time that he came in the second half, they were 1-0 down. And at that point in time, in the second half, Manchester City were playing 5-5, no striker. They took Erling Haaland out. They literally had 5 defenders, 5 centre-backs. I know it's mind-blowing. They had Gavardiol, they have John Stones, they had Ruben Diaz, they had Nathan Ake. Who else did they have? They had defenders galore. It was mind-blowing to think about. And then the late drama happened from the assist from Eze, because a lot of people are going to talk about how great the goal was. But not a lot of people are going to give the credit to Eze. Because what a way to find Martinelli. This man had the ball in the pocket. Bear in mind, I'm telling you, they had a bank of 5, 2 banks of 5. He dinks this ball over the banks of 5 perfectly to where Martinelli gets a touch and literally dinks it over the goalkeeper. By the way, Donnarumma had an opportunity to get there but just gave up. We are not going to speak about that because he's still new. But let's not talk about it. Gabriel Martinelli came off the bench and scored a sublime lob in the 93rd minute, fed from a lofted ball from Eze. It salvaged the point for Arsenal in a dramatic fashion. But that is the point. That right there is the difference between winning the league and literally coming second. Because you can choose to say you're not going to be defeated and go defensively. We have seen Jose Mourinho do that and win Premier Leagues upon Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues. But the key part about that situation is that it's not sustainable. You need to go and defeat the team. I do not believe if you bring Mourinho's Chelsea side into this Premier League right now, they are going to do what they did. Because you still need to have the ability to win the game. And that is where Mikel Arteta is absolutely backing off of. City hold on, and the resilience basically just got 1 point from it. The tactical contrast about this situation is that Arsenal looked to dominate and press. City shifted toward containment, absorbing pressure and relying on defense and Haaland's threat. Guardiola's flexibility is on show. Let me tell you the truth is that Guardiola has absolutely relaxed the way he thinks about things. We have to give him credit for him being able to evolve. Because Guardiola, that I know, will be pulling his hair, literally scratching his face if his team goes into that low block. If his team goes into that mid block of 5s. That right there is all about his evolution. Now, it did not work because they did not get the point. But that all there shows that this man is willing to think. We have already seen Manchester City press so high up the pitch that it reminds me of Liverpool's Johan Klopp time, gegenpressing. Guess who brought that? Linders, who was the assistant coach of Johan Klopp. So you can see that Manchester City and Pep Guardiola is evolving in our front time, which basically means that this is a transitional team. Now, it's not the Manchester United transition that takes 10 years, but they are transitioning into the team that they are today. The influence of Eze and Martinelli was critical. Arsenal's bench made the difference, especially in the moments when City seemed comfortable, defending but vulnerable to moments of individual brilliance. Who had said this a long time ago, that if there's one way to beat a system, is by individually taking it on. It's simple as that. City under Guardiola has often controlled games via possession. Here, even with a little of the ball, they were tactically sound and dangerous on transitions. It raises questions, is having the ball always the best measure? The truth about it is that it's a question told as wives' tales. Because there's always so many ways to figure out how to win. There's always so many ways to be right. The resilience to keep going after the first whistle paid off. But there's a sense that they let it slip. Could this have been a big statement win for Man City or an Arsenal collapse? This right here could have been a confidence boost for Arsenal to go on. Bear in mind, Liverpool have not lost nor drawn a game this season. So Arsenal have a lot of catching up to do. And so it is mind-blowing to see that that was the approach that Mikel Arteta came in to the game with. But hey, I'm not his manager, nor am I mad about him getting a draw. It is just sad to see that they spent over $1 billion. This is the best Arsenal team since Arteta has come into the pitch and come into the dugout. And this is the worst Manchester City team since Pep Guardiola has been winning in the Premier League. And Arteta decided to go into that game that way. I believe that is a missed chance. A missed chance not for 3 points or not for 2 points, but for actually 5. Because if he had gotten 2 extra points here, what you then see is that going to Manchester City are going to the Etihad, City are going to be a better drilled side at that time. In a couple of months, they are going to be a better drilled side. So there's no guarantee that you get to defeat them at City, the Etihad. So this game right here could be 5 points lost and not 2, or not 1 gained. And that right there, those little things are the key part. Those little things are the key part of who is going to be the champion of England. Let me know what you guys think about this down in the comment. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that follow button if you haven't. I'll see you guys in the next one. Much love from me to you. Peace.